Yesterday, we mentioned the 51 mental factors. The object-determining mental factors are desire, or aspiration, resolve, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. Worldly people use these mental factors for worldly activities, while practitioners use them for spiritual practice. Worldly people also have concentration and wisdom, but theirs are entirely different from ours. Our wisdom is genuine, while the wisdom of non-Buddhist schools does not accord with the authentic path or ultimate truth. As one's dharma practice progresses, wisdom continuously advances. There are different levels of wisdom. Please remember that mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom are mental factors. During analytic meditation, it is the mental factor of wisdom that is at work. Gampopa said that to obtain the definitive view, one needs to look at the nature of the mind. There is no sense in looking elsewhere. A Tibetan story illustrates this. There was a man called Je, which means strong man. He was strong but stupid. He had a jewel embedded in his forehead. When he became tired, the skin of his forehead sagged and completely covered the jewel. When he put his hand up to feel the jewel, he could not find it because the skin covered it entirely. Believing he had lost it, he searched everywhere but couldn't find it. In the same way, to obtain the definitive view, one must look within the mind itself. There is no point looking for it elsewhere. When one realizes the true nature of the mind, there is no appearance. This means that when one looks at the mind, one cannot find that it exists as an actual thing. There is also the aspect of clarity, the awareness of the absence of true existence. This awareness never ceases or fades. All elaborations or fabrications are gone, which means there is no complication in one's life, for one has realized that there is no actual thing. So, one can say there is no complication of non-existence, because there is the aspect of clarity. One cannot say it is completely void, a vacuum, for the luminosity of this awareness is present. Therefore, it neither exists nor is non-existent. It has no actual nature. This passage means that the awareness, which recognizes the absence of true existence, never ceases. This clarity or awareness is neither existent nor non-existent in the ordinary sense. The third Karmapa Ranjang Dorje says in his Mahamudra prayer that the mind does not exist because it cannot be seen by the Buddhas. Since we cannot find it, it has no true existence as a thing. Not only can't we find the mind, but the Buddhas can't either. We may think that if the mind does not exist as a thing, then it must be non-existent. But the second line of this verse says that the mind is not non-existent, for it is the basis of samsara and nirvana. Because of all the appearances of samsara and the way samsara arises in the mind, it cannot be non-existent. Moreover, the attainment of nirvana or Buddhahood, the realization of the true nature, and the knowledge of the variety of phenomena all arise from the mind. Therefore, it is not non-existent. This teaching first states that the mind does not exist, which means it is formless, and then says the mind is not non-existent. Dharma teachings often use negation to convey the truth without presenting a direct assertion, such as first stating it is not existent and then saying it is not non-existent. The third line says there is no contradiction in saying that it is neither existent nor non-existent. It is the middle way, free from the extremes of existence and non-existence. So the meaning of this Mahamudra prayer by the Karmapa is the same as what was explained earlier. It says that this awareness is completely free from thoughts such as there is this, there is that, this is good or this is bad. There is no mental activity or engagement, and the awareness is completely relaxed. One rests in meditation in this way. This is how Atisa describes meditation and how we should practice. Let's first explain this passage. Here, the mind refers to our true mind or true nature, which is non-conceptual. Therefore, discussing existence, non-existence, cessation, coming, going, sameness, or difference is pointless because all concepts are forms. The mind transcends all notions. Even the term true mind is only a conventional expression. Relative to the false appearances or the deluded mind, the eighth consciousness, we refer to it as the true mind. Because of ignorance, consciousness arises. From a single thought of ignorance, the eighth consciousness emerges. When awareness is obscured by ignorance, it becomes consciousness. Consciousness clings to appearances. Unable to recognize the true nature of things, it is called consciousness. Consciousness can only perceive the surface of phenomena and then analyze them. Since it cannot directly see their true nature, it relies on discrimination and analysis to understand them. Thus, all consciousnesses operate through appearances. Because of ignorance, we tend to regard appearances as truly existent. What we call the true mind is relative to the false. In reality, there is no true mind. When you speak of the true, you are attached to the notion that there is a true mind and a false mind. Speaking of true and false is not accurate because the deluded mind is also the true mind. Why is that? Because the deluded mind, too, is a manifestation of the true mind. The eight consciousnesses are also the functions of the true mind, though clouded by ignorance. Therefore, the deluded mind is also the true mind. True and false are relative. So, as long as you establish concepts, you cannot find your true mind. Strictly speaking, there is no need to look for the true mind, since it is inherently present. Okay, the above is a brief explanation of this topic.